Hey there, welcome to the Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well as always. Beginning with these, a man who opened up a gym that ended up changing people's lives. There he is. Also a dog who helped keep two little girls safe when they were lost in the woods and lost for hours. And a woman dedicated to bringing Christmas joy to her neighborhood. We'll tell you how she does it. Plus an act of kindness caught on camera. What did this selfless store employee do to help a man in need? We will get into it. On top of all of that, a town that found a way to use Christmas trees to help members of their own community. All of that, plus the heartwarming videos, the ones you just need to see. You know what you're watching. It's The Uplift. Hey there, I'm Tony DeCopel, and this is The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. We're going to begin right here in New York City, where an organization is making sure that Holocaust survivors have a chance to celebrate Hanukkah. Caitlin O'Kane with the story.
Inside this Brooklyn warehouse, volunteers are packing up boxes of food to be delivered to thousands of homes. The homes of Holocaust survivors in New York City. They're Hanukkah gift boxes meant to help survivors celebrate the holiday. It's a project by the Met Council, an organization that runs the nation's largest kosher food network.
Originally, we did this at the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020, where we started providing food to 500 Holocaust survivors weekly. And then we realized that the need was actually a lot greater. And so now we've expanded the program. In that specific program, we're delivering 2,100 packages of food every week to Holocaust survivors throughout the New York area who are still homebound and who have nobody else to care for them. So it's a really unique program. If you're familiar with Fresh Direct, this is Survivor Direct. We're bringing the food directly to the homes of low-income, needy Holocaust survivors.
The Met Council doesn't just work during Hanukkah. Volunteers are constantly packing up food, and they deliver 20 million pounds to pantries each year. But for the recipients, it's not just about the food they receive.
You know, even for people who unfortunately have to be alone for the holidays, just having some sense of holiday and knowing that people are thinking about you, I think is especially meaningful. But even more than that, I think that what's unique about it is that there are people they can actually interact with. Like, we've actually had feedback from people that the best part of their week is when the volunteer shows up and drops off the food and says hi to them and chats with them for a couple of minutes.
Met Council CEO David Greenfield says the organization runs many programs, from a free food truck to holding events for low-income seniors and delivering to families throughout the year. He said there are an estimated 20,000 Holocaust survivors in New York City, and Met Council doesn't want any of them to feel alone, especially during the holidays.
One of the nice things that we do is we have the volunteers write notes. So they'll write a note like Happy Thanksgiving or Happy Hanukkah. And some of the notes are coming from 8-year-old kids who are just sitting there packaging. And, while they're coming, they're learning that, there was something once unfortunately called the Holocaust, and there were people who survived, and it was terrible, and we have to give back.
The volunteers feel the impact of their work too.
We had a teenager who dropped off some food at this older woman's home, and the teenager, she was 16 years old, and she struck up a friendship where she actually writes and calls regularly with this 90-something-year-old Holocaust survivor. And I met her a few weeks ago, and she told me that it was one of the most meaningful things, right? She has a real connection, and she gets advice from her, and they keep in touch, and she has perspective, and she really feels like she has someone in her life that not just that she cares about, but that cares about her.
It's a simple way to let survivors know they're not alone. They have a whole community of friends who care.
Community is everything. And speaking of community, our next story, a small town in Minnesota found a way to use Christmas trees to help members of that community. Here now, Minnesota's Pauline Lee with the story.
For a time that should be merry and bright, what could bring more smiles this season than this sight?
I feel like when you have snow around Christmas, it makes it more enjoyable.
48 trees have lit up downtown Faribault's Central Park since Thanksgiving. Each one donated and decorated by area groups and businesses.
And we have everything from a 14-year-old who is trying to raise money to pay off negative school lunch balances to the Rice County Board of Commissioners.
Each one now going home free of charge with a family who wouldn't otherwise have one to celebrate the season.
Some of them are really expensive.
We wanted a Christmas tree, and we struggle with jobs a little bit.
It was an idea born out of the pandemic.
We decided, you know what, let's do a drive-by tree display, and let's get some smiles on people's faces.
One that continues to thrive year after year.
This is our third year doing this. It's bigger and better than ever.
And each year, St. Vincent de Paul is tasked with finding those deserving families.
Our goal is to help people in need, and every day is Heartwarming Day.
And each year, those families couldn't be more grateful.
So I got big windows. It's gonna really show like around the house.
So we're excited to go see our families and decorate our own tree together.
And it's just an overall great event.
We'll do it again next year with a smile.
When two sisters got lost in the woods in the state of Louisiana, there was, of course, a desperate search to find them, and it came to a happy ending. Here's David Begnaud with their story.
Meet Artemis, the Berg family pet, and their hero. When Abigail and Cecilia, aged 7 and 4, went missing recently in the woods behind their Louisiana home, Artemis went with them.
I just start running around the whole property. I mean, 6 acres. And that's when I called him and said, hey, they're gone.
Police and neighbors searched for hours.
Before I knew it was past 9 o'clock and we still had no word.
After wandering more than a mile, the girls got tired and turned to Artemis.
She was hanging onto his collar.
Was she really?
Yeah.
4 hours after they vanished, a searcher heard Artemis barking, then saw the dog do something that melted hearts.
He wasn't letting them by the girls. He was circling them, growling at the people.
Really?
To protect them. Mm-hmm.
It was only after the girls were reunited with Mom and Dad that everyone learned Artemis was actually the one that got them lost.
He kept running ahead of us. We were trying to follow him, but we couldn't keep up.
The family has forgiven him.
He's got a free pass for a while. I won't be fussing at him for chewing up blankets and shoes.
You're such a good boy.
Indeed, a very good boy. David Begnaud, CBS News, Folsom, Louisiana.
A very good boy, and David Begnaud is a very good storyteller. Thank you, David. Coming up, meet the story employee caught on camera performing a selfless act of kindness for a stranger in need. Plus, a gym owner who doesn't charge a cent for his services because his clients mean more to him than money. And of course, our heartwarming videos, the ones you just need to see. Stick around. Welcome back to the Uplift. Time now for those heartwarming videos, the ones you just need to see. I know you stuck around for them. We're going to begin with a mom who went viral for her wholesome and heartwarming reaction to her son's Christmas decorations. Take a look.
Oh, Joey, isn't that stunning? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, and look at your soldier. Look at your soldier. Oh, Joey. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that stunning? Isn't that stunning?
That mom is Denise Cool from Templeton, Massachusetts, giving Joey quite a pat on the shoulder. I'm thinking Joey's not 5 or 6. He's maybe 35 or 36, which is what makes it so funny. They are beautiful, I have to say. I agree with her. All right, next, we've got a surprise for a grandfather in the great state of North Carolina who had not seen his sister, not seen her for 8 years, in fact. So the family flew her in and up from Louisiana and then captured his reaction.
Surprise! Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me?
We're not kidding. What?
How do you get the story of how it took to get here?
You need to put your back up.
That's the reason we're so late. We had to wait on that.
Oh my gosh. Well, we would have been here yesterday.
So was this planned for you being here? Yeah.
He's sitting there having a bad day in that chair, and then she walks in. What a great reunion that is. 8 years, and now they're together again. To our next story, our next video is going to warm your heart like the others. 4-year-old Aaron Klein, battling a tumor, will be spending Christmas in the hospital. Doesn't sound too good. However, his community in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, came together to take his mind off of his treatment and bring him a holiday surprise. They transformed his front yard into a winter wonderland, complete with fake snow, a parade, and the Philly Fanatic. Hey, you got to do it. That's the region. And of course, Santa also paid a visit, so Aaron knows he is not missing Christmas. Mount Laurel brought it all home to him. Look at that, even carolers. What a community. All right, coming up, a woman dedicated to improving her community during Christmas time. What is her mission? How does she do it? We'll get into it. Plus, see a selfless act of kindness caught on camera at a Minnesota liquor store. You're going to want to stick around for this one. What this employee did to help a stranger in obvious need. Operation Warm is what it's called, and it's been providing coats and shoes and more to families in need for more than 20 years now. And this year, it reached a major milestone. Nikki Batiste explains.
These may look like ordinary boxes, but what's inside them is extraordinary. Hundreds of free coats for children in need.
Our tagline has become more than a coat. We're really providing emotional warmth.
The We is Operation Warm, started by Dick Sanford 24 years ago here in Pennsylvania.
I noticed half a dozen children who were waiting for a school bus. It was a really cold winter day, and it just struck me, what are they doing outside without a coat?
That first year, Sanford bought coats for 58 children. Operation Warm now makes them, and this event marks a huge milestone, helping its 5 millionth child.
How are you feeling about getting a brand new coat?
Good. If I don't get cold when it starts snowing.
Won't be cold when it starts snowing now.
The kids can take home new shoes, too. There are about 800,000 children on the waiting list.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
10.
If the smile on Jocelyn's face is any measure, the gift of giving is priceless.
Lovely piece there, Nikki. All right, to Lawndale, Illinois, where a woman is on a mission to bring the holiday spirit to her neighborhood. Here's CBS Chicago's Dana Kozloff. She's got the story.
Perfect. Okay. For Lawndale resident Princess Shaw, shrouding these Douglas Boulevard trees in Christmas lights is about more than holiday cheer.
We see it in the other neighborhoods all the time. A lot of people from this neighborhood have to go downtown to see, holiday lights. So we have a beautiful parkway. Why not do it right in our own backyard?
Shaw spent the last 3 years spearheading an effort to bring holiday lights to this part of the 24th Ward, in a part of the city hit hard by violence and poverty.
I get tired of seeing the disadvantages that we have in our community. I get tired of seeing, why can't we have nice things in our community? And how can I change that?
Her goal is to wrap lights around hundreds of trees on both Douglas and Independence.
As a total right now, we have 100.
And you're trying to light up a total of how many trees?
525 trees.
She set up this GoFundMe to help with Light Up Lawndale expenses, and this year an organization called Chicago Cares is helping out. Shaw says she's called the 24th Ward alderman, formerly Michael Scott, now his sister Monique Scott, to ask for support, with no success. But while we were talking, Alderwoman Scott called me back.
I am fine, Alderwoman. How are you?
And after telling me she's still getting to know the office while campaigning to keep it,
oh, hang on,
she agreed to talk to Shaw.
Hello? I just want to make sure the entire boulevard is lit up.
The upshot, Shaw says Alderwoman Scott says she'll help provide lights and even help round up volunteers this year.
It's just about trying to bring more the unity back in community, right?
You got some height to do that.
There are caring people out there, people who would give you the shirt off their back. Well, at a store in Minnesota, one selfless employee was seen recently giving something else away, something else entirely. Here's CBS Minnesota's Barrett Leone.
If you step into Brooklyn Center liquor store, it's not unusual to find Talea Thomas, otherwise known as Ace, with a kind smile.
I wish I could have a dozen aces on staff.
But it was out of the ordinary to have that kindness captured on camera.
I came back from lunch on Tuesday, and Ace is helping customers and checking people out in their socks.
It happened in a matter of seconds. First, you see a man digging in the trash, then strapping boxes on his feet as makeshift shoes. But Ace acts quickly.
And I seen his feet, I just automatically just took my shoes off.
You know, the old saying, give the shirt off your back, she literally gave the shoes off her feet.
But not just any shoes. They were Ace's favorite pair of purple retro Jordans, representing her favorite Minnesota team.
He was like, nobody would ever give me shoes like that. I said, well, I'm not everybody. And I gave it to him. He's like, thank you so much. So then I'll see him walk away, and he's just walking with this happiness, pride stuff.
Ace said it was an easy decision.
I was always taught that help others because you may never know what their problem is or what they're going through.
Hundreds of shares, likes, and comments later.
I'm surprised. I'm so surprised.
Ace hopes her story inspires others to be kind in return.
If my shoes can make somebody's world a better place, you can have them. Shoes can always be replaced. Everybody in the world deserves to be loved.
After the break, we introduce you to a trainer who opened a gym with one goal in mind: to change people's lives. And he doesn't charge his clients a single cent. What? We take you now to Britain, where a trainer has opened up an unusual gym, a gym with one goal: changing people's lives. Here's Natasha Larno with the story.
Growing up poor, Javino McLean didn't have much, but he learned early in life that the greatest gift you can give others is your time and help. About 15 years ago, the former powerlifting champion realized that the best way for him to help others is to use his knowledge of athletics and open a health center for people with disabilities. And he doesn't charge them a single cent.
But when it comes to somebody who's going through a dark episode, somebody who's going through a battle, I've never felt the need to take that person's money. They're already going through enough. And that person is trusting me with their life. Best believe that I'm going to do my best to make them come out of it with a smile on their face.
Amy and Josh are two of Javino's 50 clients, and they both have cerebral palsy. They say training with Jay has completely changed their life for the better.
I've never been able to walk unaided without someone's help. With Jay, you can't really say no because he's so convincing. He's like, you will do it, even if it hurts you. You will do it because you're more powerful than you believe. He gets you out of your wheelchair, and no matter how tired you are, you end up doing it. That in itself is so powerful.
The hardest part for me, at least, is being completely unable to walk. He said to me, I don't care about what you can't do. I only care about what you can do.
I don't care about your wheelchair. I don't care about the disability. I care about the person inside the wheelchair. That wheelchair, it doesn't define nobody. It doesn't define you. That's why I'm trying to tell people. The time that wheelchair is just a part of you. I'm more concerned about how many barriers we can smash through. I'm more worried about how many smiles and laughs we can create in that session.
Josh didn't think he'd ever get out of his wheelchair, but Javino coached him through it. It wasn't just an accomplishment for Josh, but an inspiration for another young boy with the same condition.
And he sent me the video and he was crying. He's very emotional, just saying that for the first time in his life, he's realised that the wheelchair isn't him. It's just a part of him.
And that was beautiful for me, because what I want to do in my life is to just inspire people. I like to do it with the hope that someone out there is going to try and do this for themselves. So like, just to hear that something I've done has had that kind of impact is such a great feeling.
Amy came to Javino after developing PTSD. In 2017, she was at the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester when it was bombed. 22 people were killed.
Before that, I loved going to concerts because concerts are quite an inclusive thing. You don't get judged. Everyone was just there to have fun. But with the Manchester bombing, my anxiety and depression got a lot worse. I developed PTSD. I had quite a few panic attacks. I don't think that that's ever going to go away. It's just going to be something that is easier to handle.
A friend of hers messaged me saying, I've got a girl here who's a big fan of yours. She's not getting out of bed because she's depressed. Is there any way you could speak to her? I said, I ain't going to speak to her. I want to meet her. I want to train her.
It's given me something to look forward to, because being disabled, I don't really get out much. So I don't just look at Javino as a trainer or a physio. I look at him more as a best friend.
She said that I'm the reason she gets out of bed. And this is what I mean by this stuff. It's more than exercise. That is such a powerful, humbling thing to me, and that's why I take it so serious.
Javino's role is not just physical. The mental coaching and motivation is essential in his rehabilitation work.
For someone like me and Josh, even just getting out of bed in the morning and getting dressed is a marathon and a half. A few weeks ago, Jay had me swinging off a rope like a monkey, and I never thought in a million years that would be something that I'd do. And when I got home, I felt a little bit emotional because I was like, oh my God, did that actually just happen?
People that I train are going through battles that are unimaginable. It's so deep and it's so challenging. And every day I'm working with these amazing people, and I'm seeing them overcome. The strength of heart and the strength of personality and the strength of character, that there is the most impressive kind of strength to me. It can take people out of a reality that's not a nice place, a reality where it's quite lonely and cold and it's hard, to a fantasy world where they can laugh and smile and joke, and they can not feel any pain for a little minute, and they can kind of escape to a place where everything's okay.
Are you not uplifted? That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. I'm confident it did. If it did not, go ahead and press play again. Reruns, also new shows, totally free. I'm gonna go find some good news.
This episode of The Uplift is presented by the Subaru Share the Love event.